Hi there. For one of our spiritual toolkit videos, I wanted to share some of the ways that I have liked to pray over the years. When I've done meditations with a group of people, I've always been amazed at how some people are such visual people, and they will be meditating right next to me and they'll see vivid colors, purples and blues. And what I tend to do is I tend to feel the presence of God. My hands will tingle, my tongue will tingle sometimes, and I just am, that's kind of how I connect with God, I guess, is through feeling. And so one of the ways that I've enjoyed praying is by holding something. I had heard once a pastor friend who was very much into meditation and centering prayer, had told me that, you know, when thoughts arise and I'm meditating, that I should just visualize them being put on a little boat and gently going downstream and letting go of them. And I really like that image. One of the ways that I have prayed is to visualize the person just kind of being lifted up into the light of God, and God or Christ taking that person and holding them. Another way I like to pray is to visualize them in the palm of my hand and just ask Christ to hold them in the palm of his hand. And so years ago, my son shopped at a Serve sale, and he got me these 3 heart-shaped rocks for Christmas. And he told me, he's a spiritual being, and he told me that they represented my 3 children, Em, Aaron, and Nathaniel. And it was funny because instantly I knew which rock was for which child. But I've used these I've held them as I prayed for my children as a whole, or I've taken just one of them and held it in my hand, and then just, without words even, just visualized the light, the healing light of God surrounding them and filling them and releasing them from any burdens that they may have. I find that words can trip me up, as you may be able to tell from this video. So I like being able to pray without words at times. Just holding things in my hand or visualizing. And one other tip that I love to walk along the ocean, especially we go camping on the Cape, and we'll go to Nauset Beach in the evening and watch the seals swimming and just kind of walk along the ocean, and I feel so connected to God, to the mystery and power and beauty and awesomeness of God. And one of the things I always end up doing is picking up small stones. And I'm not really sure why, but I tend to pick up the ones that are kind of roundish and white and small and smooth. I think Patty Chafee calls them moonstones. But I end up filling up my pockets with stones like this. And so one of my prayer practices has been to take one of these stones and write names or initials on them. So here's one that I wrote ages ago for people that I was praying for. I don't know if you can see, but I used a permanent pen and just wrote their names. And then I kept the stone. I would pray in that way, hold the stone in my hand and feel it and visualize the healing light of Christ all around it and all around the people listed on the stone. And then I'd keep the stone in my pocket. Or I might even, if I was working in the office, I'd put it by my desk. So every time I felt of it in my pocket, or I saw it on my desk, I would thank God for answering my prayers for these people. I have stones like this all over my house. I run into them for a while, and I can see, oh, that's when I was praying for this person. And look at how God answered my prayers. So it's encouraging, and it's also, it makes me feel connected to those I was praying for. So those are a couple of ways that I've liked to pray. I often use candles and just picture lifting the person in the smoke from the candle, lifting the person to God. I know that God isn't up there. God is within us. God is all around us. But that visual image frees me from the need to use words. And if I can just picture them, if there's a sick person, I picture them well and joyful and just so relieved to be feeling well. And I ask God to make that happen. And with the stones or the other things, I'm able to feel connected to God. I'm able to feel connected to the people that I'm praying for. And it's just one way that I like to pray. So thank you for listening. Namaste.